University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Last time we saw Liverpool University achieve the first of the 2 victories they need to qualify for the semi-finals. Tonight, 2 more teams are entering the Devil's playground of the quarter-finals. The team from St Peter's College, Oxford, arrived here by beating the University of Sussex in round 1 and Selwyn College, Cambridge in round 2, when they were able to show off their knowledge of Tudor warships, the pituitary gland and the letter D. When it came to a set of virtually incomprehensible bonus questions on circular motion, they greeted them with such familiarity that they must speak of little else at St Peter's. With an accumulated score of 440, let's meet the team again.
Hello, I'm John Armitage. I'm from Lancaster and I'm reading mathematics.
Hi, I'm Ed Roberts. I'm from London and I'm studying history.
Here's their captain.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Trueblood. I'm from London and I'm studying medicine.
Hello, I'm Spike Smith. I'm from Maidenhead and I'm reading mathematics.
The team from Oxford Brookes University have made it to this stage by dismissing Jesus College, Oxford, by a 10-point margin in round 1 and University College London in round 2, when their score of 180 was twice that of their opponents. Strengths on that occasion included heraldic design, the hardness of minerals, Oscar-winning costume design and the provinces of China. With an accumulated score of 310, let's meet the Oxford Brookes team again.
Hi, I'm Simon Joyce. I'm from North Oxfordshire and I'm studying for an MSc in spatial planning.
Hi, I'm Paula Ayres. I'm originally from Hertfordshire and I'm studying for an MA in the history of medicine.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm David Ballard. I'm from Tewkesbury in Gloucestershire and I'm studying politics and international relations.
Hi, I'm Stephen Mays. I'm from Canterbury in Kent and I study history.
Right, let's just get on with it then. Fingers on buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. Who described his 14 months at Magdalen College, Oxford, as the most idle and unprofitable of my whole life? His time there ended in 1753, when he became a Catholic and was sent by his father to study in Lausanne. Later, he journeyed to Rome, where he conceived the idea of the historical work for which he's best known.
Oxford Brookes Mays.
Edward Gibbon.
Correct. The first bonuses are on places that delimit areas of the BBC coastal weather forecast, for example, Land's End and Beachy Head. In each case, identify the place from the description. Firstly, a Yorkshire town at the mouth of the River Esk, associated with the 7th century poet Caedmon, and more recently with the Goth subculture.
Whitby.
Correct. Secondly, a headland in West Sussex to the south of Chichester. It delimits areas of the south coast.
Nominate Joyce.
Hayling Island?
No, it's Selsey Bill. Finally, a bay in northwest England that divides the area between Holyhead and the Mull of Galloway.
Forth?
No.
Is there another Firth?
It's bay.
Got anything at all?
I don't know. St Bede's.
St Bede's?
No, it's Morecambe Bay. 10 points for this. Which city is this? Known as Argenturatum in Roman times, it later became a free city under the Holy Roman Empire. Captured and annexed by the Germans after a 50-day siege in 1870, it reverted to France after the First World War. It's now the capital of the region.
St Peter's Trueblood.
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg is correct. Right, your first set of bonuses, St Peter's, are on large numbers. In 1938, what term did the 9-year-old nephew of the US mathematician Edward Kastner coin for the number equal to 10 to the power 100? I need you to spell the term for your answer.
Googol? Yeah. Google, Googol.
Correct. Based on his nephew's coinage, what term did Kastner devise for the number 10 to the Google?
Googleplex.
Correct. In a television quiz programme recorded in Elstree in September 2001, what cash value was placed on a question to which the answer was Google?
£1 million.
It was £1 million, yes. 10 points for this starter question. The 18th century French naturalist Michel Adanson gives his name to a genus of tropical trees known by what six-letter common name? Able to live for up to 2,000...
St. Peter's Trueblood.
Ginkgo.
No, you lose 5 points. Able to live for up to 2,000 years, they're distinguished by thick, barrel-shaped trunks and a gourd-like fruit with edible pulp known as monkey bread. Oh, I'll tell you, they're baobab trees. 10 points for this. From the name of one of Europe's oldest cities, what word came into use in English in the early 19th century to denote an architectural style more recently described as the first post-colonial art of the West, characterised by massive strength and the use of round-headed arches? It is commonly known in Britain as Norman.
St. Peter's Roberts.
Gothic.
Nope. Oxford Brookes, one of you buzz.
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Palladian.
No. Don't know much about architecture, no, either of you. It's Romanesque. 10 points for this. Wearing a solar topi for much of his journey, the Briton Geoff Summerfield is noted for a 22,000-mile round-the-world trip completed in 2008 by what specific kind of vehicle? Rendered obsolete in the 1880s by John Dunlop's pneumatic...
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Penny farthing.
Correct. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on an island. The Dutch paleoanthropologist Eugène Dubois found an early specimen of Homo erectus in 1891 and named it Pithecanthropus erectus. What name is it commonly given after the island on which it was found?
Okay. Sumatran man.
No, it's Java man. The banteng, which has subspecies called Java, Borneo and Burma banteng, is a species of what specific family of mammals?
The orangutans. Orangutans.
No, they're bovines. Mount Semeru is Java's highest point and is a volcano of what type? Also called composite, the term denotes a structure of many layers of hardened lava, pumice and ash.
We don't know.
Cone.
No, it's a stratovolcano. We're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see the logo of a British political party with vital clues missing. 10 points if you can give me its name.
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Plaid Cymru.
Correct. Right, Plaid Cymru is a member of the European Free Alliance grouping in the European Parliament. For your bonuses, 3 other national parties that operate under the European Free Alliance umbrella. In each case, I would like the name of the party, please. Firstly, the 3-word English name of this party.
I mean,
Politics.
no, but it's in Dutch as well. We don't
Any
know.
Dutch parties?
Try New People's Alliance.
New People's Alliance?
No, it's the New Flemish Alliance. Secondly, the 2-word English name of this party.
What's Berlusconi's party?
It's Italy, isn't it?
No, pass.
That's Basque Solidarity. And finally, the 2-word English name of this party.
It's not the Pirate Party, is it? No, there is one.
Have they got European?
They might do. Got any better answers?
No, go.
Pirate Party.
Correct. Right, 10 points for this. The most unique and arresting aspect of his musical personality is probably his force of will, his stubbornness. These words of the pianist Jonathan Biss refer to which composer? Citing as an example his piano sonata number 15 of 1801.
St. Peter's Trueblood.
Beethoven.
Correct. Your bonuses are on Asian countries and their capitals. In each case, name the country and its capital. Firstly, the capital of which country may be spelled using the chemical symbols of barium, potassium and uranium?
Azerbaijan, Baku.
Correct. Secondly, the symbols of arsenic, hydrogen, gallium, boron and astatine spell the name of which capital?
Oh, God. Sorry. Arsenic.
Ashgabat.
Nominate Smith.
Ashgabat.
Country?
Turkmenistan.
Correct. And finally, the symbols of arsenic, tantalum and sodium spell the name of which Central Asian capital?
Astana, Kazakhstan.
Correct. 10 points for this. Thought by some to be taken from the surname of a 19th century English dentist, what five-letter term denotes a splint or tube placed temporarily inside a natural passage of the body?
St. Peter's True Blood.
Stent.
Stent is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on quotations. In each case, identify the author. All three share the same surname. Firstly, what is character but the determination of incident? What is incident but the illustration of character? Who wrote those words in the 1888 work, The Art of Fiction?
Fiction. The name that might occur somewhere else.
Roland Barthes, I don't know. Roland Barthes.
Roland Barthes.
No, it's Henry James. I heard one cry in the night and I heard one laugh afterwards. If I cannot forget that, I shall not be able to sleep again.
Another James. Another James. Pass.
That's M.R. James. And finally, I had an interest in death from an early age. When I heard Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, I thought, did he fall or was he pushed?
James, using early crime writers. James, P.D. James. P.D. James?
Correct. 10 points for this. Which non-ferrous metal has a chemical symbol of two letters that also form the end of Latin words meaning male former pupils and constellation between Auriga, Canis Minor, Taurus and Cancer?
St. Peter's Smith.
Nickel.
Correct. Right, your bonuses this time are on protozoal diseases of humans. Firstly, for 5. Toxoplasmosis may cause mild flu-like symptoms in healthy individuals and more serious complications in immunocompromised patients. What is the causative organism?
Toxoplasma gondii.
Correct. What term describes diseases such as toxoplasmosis that are transmitted from an animal reservoir to a human and are not contagious between humans?
Zoonotic.
Correct, yes. Which animals are the primary source of Toxoplasma gondii infection in humans?
Cats.
Correct. We're going to take a music round. For your music starter, you'll hear a well-known piece of classical music. 10 points if you can give me the name of the piece, which is also the form of music it exemplifies, and the 17th century composer to whom it's usually attributed.
St. Peter's True Blood.
Adagio, Albinoni.
Indeed. Adagio by Albinoni featured in a poll conducted by the Cooperative Funeral Service of the classical music most frequently played at funerals. For your bonuses, 3 more reminders that Tempus Fugit in the form of classical pieces that also made the co-op's list. 5 points for each piece you can name. Firstly, this specific 2-word piece.
Ave Maria.
No, it's the Pie Jesu from Fauré's Requiem. Secondly, the name of what form of music is usually applied to this specific piece?
Martyr.
No, that's a Largo. And finally, this specific piece.
Yeah, Nimrod.
Indeed, from the Enigma Variations. 10 points for this. Noted for inquiring how he could know if he was dreaming of being a butterfly or if he was a butterfly dreaming of being himself, Chuang Tzu is associated with which philosophical tradition? Its name deriving from a term meaning way or principle.
St. Peter's True Blood.
Taoism.
Taoism is correct. These bonuses, St. Peter's, are on observational astronomy, incorporating the name of a Portuguese explorer. For what do the letters GMT stand when referring to a facility in Chile scheduled for completion in 2020?
I guess the M is Magellan, so Greater Magellanic Telescope.
It's the giant Magellan telescope. I can't accept that. Also in Chile, the EELT is likewise planned for the end of this decade. For what do those four letters stand?
Something extremely large telescope. Extra extreme. Any better at it? Extra extremely large telescope.
That's the European extremely large telescope. And finally, with the primary mirror almost 40 metres in diameter, the EELT will collect several 100,000 times as much light as the earliest reflecting telescope, which had a mirror about 3.5 centimetres in diameter and was constructed in 1668 by which scientist?
Isaac Newton.
Correct. 10 points for this. What concept was the subject of Søren Kierkegaard's 1841 dissertation? Derived from the Greek word for simulated ignorance, it describes the humorous expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite.
St. Peter Smith.
Irony.
Correct. Your bonuses are on potatoes. Which potato variety shares its name with a prolific Venetian composer born in 1678? His works include concerti known in English as Night and Storm at Sea.
Vivaldi.
Correct. Known by a single word name, which potato variety shares its name with the last woman before Queen Mary to give birth to two future kings of Great Britain?
Two future kings. What was Charles I's wife called? Sorry? Henrietta Maria, I think. Henrietta?
No, it's Charlotte, the wife of George III. Which potato variety shares its name with a common British bird of prey, sometimes known as a windhover?
Windhover, kestrel's hover. I don't know, kite. Do any kinds of... What, is there a kestrel potato? Do we know? Kestrel.
Correct. 10 points for this. Listen carefully. Answer as soon as your name is called. Add the number of hours in a day to the total number of pieces at the start of a chess game. Divide the total by the number of colours in the visible spectrum. What number results?
St. Peter's True Blood.
8.
Correct. Your bonuses, St. Peter's, are on Baroque architecture. Dating to the late 17th century, the Belém National Palace is the residence of the president of which EU member state?
This is a bit roundabout. There's a Belém in Brazil. If that's Portuguese, then have you got any better? Portugal?
Correct. In which country is the Rundala Palace built for the Dukes of Courland? It's sometimes known as the Versailles of the Baltic states.
1 in 3. Lithuania.
No, it's Latvia. Begun in 1664 by a Prince-Elector of the Wittelsbach family, the Nymphenburg Palace is in which German federal state?
I've been lucky before. Saxony or Hanover or... Saxony.
No, it's Bavaria. We're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. 10 points if you can identify the artist.
St. Peter Smith.
Cézanne.
It is Cézanne, yes. That was his portrait of the art dealer and patron Ambroise Voyard, who was pivotal in the careers of many now renowned artists, Cézanne included. Your picture bonuses are 3 more portraits of Voyard by some of the artists whose work he promoted, exhibited and sold. 5 points for each artist you can identify. Firstly, for 5, this French artist.
Poussin, I don't know. It's not Poussin, but... Poussin.
No, that's Renoir. Secondly, this French artist.
Manet, I don't know. No, I don't know. Not Matisse. French artist, guys. Poussin again. It's not going to be this. Manet.
No, that's by Bonnard. And finally, this Spanish artist.
Picasso? Yeah. Picasso.
Correct. 10 points for this. Home to a mall said to be the largest underground shopping centre in Asia, which affluent high-rise district of Seoul has a name that means South River and features in the title...
St. Peter's Trueblood.
Gangnam.
Gangnam is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses this time, St. Peter's, are on quantum mechanics, introduced in 1925 by the US-Dutch physicists George Uhlenbeck and Samuel Goudsmit. For what does the quantum number lowercase s stand?
Spin.
Spin.
Correct. Spin is the inherent angular momentum of a particle. What is the smallest value of spin permitted for a fermion, expressed in terms of the unreduced Planck constant, h?
1/h, I think. It's not my specialty.
No. H/2.
H/2?
No, it's h/4 pi. Bosons are distinguished into subclasses of particles with and without spin, designated by what 2 terms?
Without spin, massive and massless, I don't know.
Let's have it, please.
Mesons and gauge bosons.
No, it's vector and scalar. There are about 5 1/4 minutes to go and 10 points for this. The son of sharecroppers and the grandson of slaves, Tom Bradley served 5 terms as mayor of which major US city? His achievements included bringing the Olympic Games to the city in 1984.
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Los Angeles.
Correct. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on an historical term, originally meaning a wooden stake. What short term denotes the area of Anglo-Norman settlement and control in Ireland during the Middle Ages?
Anything? No. Pass.
That was the Pale. From the 1780s, which ruler established the Pale of Settlement, an area of the Russian Empire in which Jews were permitted to live?
Catherine the Great?
Correct. The term Pale is also used of the territory around which Channel port, under English control from the 1340s until 1558?
Calais.
Correct. Another start question. Arising in the 1270s, Saligia is a mnemonic for the Latin words of which grouping in Roman Catholic theology? The first 3 words represented are superbia, avarice...
St. Peter's Trueblood.
7 deadly sins.
Correct. Right, your bonuses, St. Peter's, are on fictional books. In each case, name the author who created the following and the work in which it appears. Firstly, The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism by Emmanuel Goldstein.
It's 1984. George Orwell, 1984.
Correct. Secondly, Jacob Wrestling by James Mortmain.
Is that Wild?
Wild in which book? Portrait...
Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh.
Evelyn Waugh, Brideshead Revisited.
That was Dodie Smith in I Capture the Castle. And finally, Maniacs in the Fourth Dimension by Kilgore Trout.
It's Kurt Vonnegut. I just don't remember which book it is. So The Cat's Cradle, Slaughterhouse 5, Fourth Dimension.
Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5.
Correct. 3 minutes to go, 10 points for this. Specialising in linguistics and literary theory, the Russian émigrés Nikolai Trubetskoy and Roman Jakobson were, from the 1920s, leading figures in a circle or school named after which Central European capital?
St Peter's Roberts.
Vienna.
No, anyone like to buzz from Oxford Brookes?
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Budapest.
No, it's Prague. 10 points for this starter question. They call them baubles, but it is with such baubles that men are led. Attributed to Napoleon, these words refer to what specific award established by him in 1802?
Oxford Brookes Joyce.
Légion d'honneur.
Correct. Right, these bonuses are on botany, Oxford Brookes. What Greek-derived term denotes a directional response of a plant or part of a plant to an external stimulus from a specific direction?
Tropism.
Correct. What precise term denotes the tropic response to external contact, such as the curling of tendrils around a stake?
Pass.
It's haptotropism. And what precise stimulus causes a selenotropic response in some plants?
It's the moon, isn't it? Selene.
The moon.
Correct. 10 points for this. What class of celestial bodies take their name from a Greek word meaning long-haired?
St Peter's Trueblood.
Comets.
Comets is correct. Your bonuses this time are on an African country. Its capital, Asmara. Which country gained independence from Ethiopia in 1993?
Eritrea.
Correct. The name Eritrea derives ultimately from the Greek word for which colour?
Red.
Correct. From 1889 to 1941, Eritrea was a colony of which country?
It's an ideological guess.
Italy.
Correct. 10 points for this. Give both answers promptly if you buzz. The flag of Angola has the same 3 colours as the flags of which 2 contiguous countries of Western Europe?
St Peter's Trueblood.
Belgium and Germany.
Correct. These bonuses are on years that contain only 2 different digits, for example, 1911 and 1881. In each case, name the year that saw the following. Firstly, the accession of Francis I of France and the completion of Grunewald's Eisenheim altarpiece. Quickly.
1515.
Correct. The mutiny aboard Henry Hudson's ship Discovery and the publication of the King James Bible, please.
16. It's 250th anniversary. So 1615.
Come on.
1616.
No, it's 1611. And finally, and at the gong, Oxford Brookes have 80, St Peter's Oxford have 240. I'm afraid you got a bit whipped there, Oxford Brookes, didn't you? But they were a very strong team. You'll have to come back twice and win twice in order to go through to the semi-finals. St Peter's, that was another very convincing performance from you. We shall look forward to seeing you in your next quarter-final and, who knows, after that, possibly in the semi-finals. I hope you can join us next time for another quarter-final match, but until then, it's goodbye from Oxford Brookes University.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from St Peter's College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.